The Sad Life of Gammon, only here on WoW Radio. That was, of course, Daryl Brewer, a.k.a. Brew Guy, the guy who created the winner of WoW Idol 2005, the Ganker. Everyone just yelled at me, where do I get that song, TB? You get that song from www.brewguy.ca/music. Go there now, I'll link it to you in the channel. That's brewguy.ca/music. You can also download the Ganker and the Ganker Unplugged, which was created exclusively for this show. And if you look back through the archives, you will find an interview with himself, Mr. Ganker, Brew Guy, the musical genius that he is. Nice one. Okay, back to the task at hand. I got some emails in for working as intended this week, so I'm going to get on with it. Right, okay, Paladin changes. Here we go. Wolfos is a level 60 Paladin. Here we go. Hey TB, this is a topic that is so hard to put it's untrue. Let me put it this way. We got a nerf to Bubble, a 1-minute debuff like Weakened Soul, which we needed. We got a 30% nerf on Seal of Command, which in the end was for 1 extra proc per minute. Now, that's kind of big, but not worth it. Though I use Seal of Command, it's not the main source of damage. The big thing we got were the amount of talents for PvP. An eye for an eye talent reflects 30% of critical spell damage you take back at the caster. That is a dream move, and I love it. Oh, God. I am going to have to stay away from Paladins with that one. Ugh. Unpleasant. Pursuit of Justice is an 8% running mount speed increase. Stops runners from getting away so easily. Oh, God, no. It was bad enough trying to escape from the ones with bloody increased speed and speed potions, let alone that. And a talent which lets us our weapons proc with 15% strength and agility off the target. All of these talents are PvP orientated, which is nice, but I'd say this. They changed the way Paladins work. Now we have a lot of melee orientated moves, like people wanted. But now the stuff and heals on the Holy Tree got placed and weakened to the point... hang on, I'm just trying to read this. Heals on the Holy Tree got placed and weakened to the point it's not harder for us to heal. In the long run, it's not going to be fair for us Paladins that want to heal in raids. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a fundamental change to the way the Paladin class is going to work. Possibly at the expense of the way that it works already. Risky. Smiley Man says this about Seal of Command. It sucks. They should have left Seal of Command as it was in 1.8. People who have collected strength, agility and crit gear now need to change gear to plus intellect, since the idiots of Blizzard increased mana in trade for 1 extra proc and a useless extra amount of damage when judging SOC. They also removed 30% of the damage. Spam, spam, spam. That's his opinion on that one. Okay, Alex Drachev. Everything from the new patch is really good, except the part that we won't receive at least 1 strike. But not an overpowered strike, because Paladins are a defensive class. That's what people need to understand, that Paladins are meant to take the beating and survive, not dish out insane DPS. But still, a melee hybrid being outdamaged by a spellcaster hybrid is silly. But there is still a way to get good DPS, but people seem to neglect it. Paladins are very, very gear dependent, so to the whiners out there, learn to play. Okay. Now, that is the craziest name I've seen in ages. Let me try and pronounce it and fail miserably. Kostiantin Partola. Possibly. As someone who has played a Paladin for a very long time, I feel I know the class very well. I am very content with some of Blizzard's ideas in our talent revamps. They've made Paladins a lot more interactive. They've managed to control our DPS and burst DPS. They've also increased our DPS to a degree. Unfortunately, our survivability is still very large and our DPS is still the lowest. I have an idea how to fix this. Now, disregarding items for a moment, make Paladins wear mail their whole lives and give them DPS on the par of warriors as it is in low levels. At the same time, make the last talent in the protection tree the ability to wear plate. Now, since Paladins are a hybrid class that are meant to specialize with talent trees, make Paladins rely on talents. Make the talents uber super powerful, meanwhile nerfing the class skills to the same degree. Achieving, in this process, a class that can be made unique on almost every build. You'd have a lot of DPS if you went down the Retribution tree. You'd become a good tank if you went down the Protection tree, and you'd be a really great healer if you went down the Holy tree. At the same time, your tanking, your DPS, and your healing would greatly suffer at the expense of one. And if you want to become one great hybrid support guy, you just spec down all 3 trees. A similar idea to the way druids have been changed. You can specialise, but you'll never be good at everything. Okay. Oh, God. That is a long one. I'll read that out later. Now, back to the topics. I pretty much covered everything I want to talk about in the expansion. It's not the expansion, it's the new patch. There are a couple of things I just want to cover. Now, the whole thing about having cities which are worth living in. This has always been a point that I've been a bit disturbed about. Now, also in the patch, they're going to be adding shared looking for group channels and shared trade channels. So you'll be able to see what someone is trading, etc. That's great. However, looking to trade this. Yeah, I would like to buy it. How much? Oh, 50 gold. Okay, that's fine. Where are you? Darnassus. Oh, I'm in Ironforge. Is that seriously going to help anything, really? People are not going to be in Darnassus because they know it's going to be too much of a hassle for them to get to the person they're trying to trade with in the first place. However, maybe there's another way around it. What if you as a trader were to use the shared auction house system to your advantage? What if you were to put something up, wanted to trade this item? I would like to buy your item. Where are you? Oh, I'm in Darnassus. Oh, I'm in Ironforge. Okay, maybe I don't want it. Ah, but wait. What if I put it on the auction house for you and you bought it straight away at that price? Oh, that's handy. Ho-hum. A new age of auction house trading using the auction house trading system as a courier. There's a word for this. Escrow. Some of you who've used eBay will be well aware that some places offer escrow services, which are effectively a third party which your item is transferred through. It's for safety, basically. It provides a guarantee to your transaction. So effectively, you could use the auction house system, the shared linked auction house system, as escrow. So I want to sell an Arcanite bar to someone in Darnassus. He's at the auction house. I'm at the auction house in Ironforge. I agree on a price. I send it up there. He refreshes the page, sees my item with my name, buys it. He gets it immediately. I get my money. End of story. How useful. Now, looking for group over different cities. Yeah, I'm not so sure that that's going to encourage people to use different cities, but it's more of a case of I don't think it was designed to. I think what it's designed to do is to simply facilitate and not disadvantage people who don't happen to be in the main city. It's not going to make people think, oh, I'm going to go and hang around in Darnassus. They're not going to do that because it's a hassle to get there. But if they happen to be in Darnassus for whatever reason, they are not going to be disadvantaged in the way that you can't get in a group, you can't access the normal trade channels, you can't access an auction house. It's not the overall solution saying, hey, this is how we're going to fix everything. No. It's facilitation. It's not an encouragement for people to go to cities specifically, but it is an encouragement to stay. It's not giving an advantage to people who are in those cities, but it is removing the disadvantage of being there. Now that's a good thing. I definitely like that. Now, I'm well aware that you can send things by cash on delivery, but you seem to be forgetting one rather important item. There's a 1-hour delay. Cash on delivery is not used because I want my item now! I don't want it in an hour! Don't be ridiculous! So, the argument which is being put in the channel, people love to do this. They like to try and find my argument, see, ooh, I'll see if I can find a hole in his argument. Yeah, what can we do today? Nah! No, it didn't work, I'm afraid. The mailing system doesn't work because it takes an hour. And again, it can stay in someone's inbox for 30 days. The reason I don't use COD is because someone could quite easily, if they were being an arse, simply say, okay, he sent it cash on delivery. I'm not going to pay for that. I'm just going to leave it in my mailbox for 30 days. So I've lost an item for a month. Oh, cash on delivery not seeming like such a good idea now, is it? Nice try, didn't work. Okay. Now, someone's just made a very good point in the channel. Demon Sword said that it helps when finding groups for out-of-the-way instances like Black Fathom Deep. And what Necromonger just said, which I think is probably the most poignant thing I've seen said all day in the channel, it gives us players a choice where we want our hometown to be. Yes, choice. Thank God, someone gets it. I like choice. I'm a big fan of choice. If I could spend all my days in Thunderbluff, I would, because I love it. But there's no reason for me to be there, because the auction house isn't there. But now, if I want to stay in Thunderbluff, I can. If I want to stay in the Undercity, say for the reason that maybe I am only visiting Kargath and doing Molten Core and so forth, I can do that. And I will not be disadvantaged. Handy. Useful. I see. The light finally dawns on my ignorant eyes. Speaking of ignorance, this is Rapping the Forums. Yo, faux shizzle and so forth, it's time for a very special edition of the one and only Rapping the Forums. It's a versus battle. Yes, indeed. Now, usually we try and find the worst, most disgustingly terrible posts on the forums and turn them into even worse, more disgusting than you could ever imagine raps of doom. However, this time around, we have a versus battle for the crown of worst poster in the world ever. Yes, I do mean ever. Okay, so, our competitors for the day, we have the Rappin' Tootin' Meet You from Daggerspine EU. And in the red corner, we have Messer, also from Daggerspine EU. Oh, we seem to breed these people. Okay, are we ready to play? Spin it, and so forth. Meet You up first. Oh yes. It's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. The point shouldn't be focused on guerrilla fights, just man. The server contains plus minus 1,000 people, alliance and horde side. Prearrange rank status this way, your hands do get dirty. They do that by leeching down the way they set up teams. It's not personally their fault, but no one has the balls to call this ignorance a day. Including Blizzard doesn't make that extra option, and it's so easy to avoid this the way we are able to sign up, so this game doesn't get into the hands which to me is only ready to be abused. Cleansing. And if we speak now of only a certain little amount of people who junk this whole server to not reasonable playing and play without having 10, 20 people make out a whole PvP server ranking. But again, if, for example, a bank would open its safety deposit and anyone would just run in and steal as much as they can until the human nature of being reasonable stands up and starts to make the game run in reasonable lines. With the rules inside not to be ridiculed in no time, then this game would get rid of the cheap control of being greedy, and thus dismiss ideas, cause you're able to control alone where the flow goes. Then it's just a game to be forgotten as soon as people are fed up with gear. Shame, it's a joke. Why talk to more warlords in Daggerspine and people who came now to high gear PvP? The unseen conclusion comes to the point where they agree with a point I make, but who's gonna change it? It almost looks as if the real predator rulers are simply confused by the boatload of sheep that run into one direction. Kinda funny that we are people with brains to notify what is going on instead of giving this endless madness some true game shape. Okay, time for Messer's turn. You know he'll be illin' today. Okay, it's a 5-2-3-7-2-5-4. It fits in the category weakened by Gildray to win in that situation. After we lost 3 bases with 12 players versus a strong horde team, that's your thought, but we won a lot of times versus Sot or Gorilla, so we do have chances. And no one stated something different. We weren't playing at that time. The post above explain the reason. Yes, I find it normal. I don't say I will do it, but I say there is no prob. If someone stopped playing a lost situation, by the way, I'm usually the one that wants to keep trying till the end, but that's another point. Yes, you can't really come randomly in the game for 2 minutes and believe you understood everything. We were playing all the game together, and we knew the situation. We had yesterday a weaker team than Gorilla. Yesterday we lost mostly versus them. We can't retake a flag with the less strong team. The on-will victory we did versus them 1 or 2 yesterday. What cause? We got BS at start and we could defend it enough to get the points of safety. If you'd know the game better you could understand, but that doesn't seem it so. You're quite as funny as AFKU. No, I react. So as you are spamming BS for a thing, total right and overall, right or wrong, and a thing you don't know at all, you have been as random as 2 effed minutes in our game. Shut up, man, really. Meet Hughes coming back for one final try. Oh my. It's a 7-5-2-3-2-5. It's about greed and being able to control and hold down another's ideas as you see the negative posts come from people who A, don't understand this post, or B, are making themselves guilty in this kind of fixed playstyle. You can't blame them is the conclusion. But Blizzard seems to be blind or lost in this huge project to keep real gaming lines in a good concept. I believe that StarCraft co-op competition never got this kind of sick, boring control. The skill divided much more inside a player than the force I am God by words. And 15 friends who ridicule the whole game on the whole server. This can be easy avoid if you put the power back in the hands of all players like it's meant to be cleansing. Inside a game doesn't promote gaming, especially if you see the way AB sign-ups are made is right into the pocket of abuse and control. If these options are made, I suggest the complaints about groups will be avoided, because I don't see anyone will loan his level 60 in useless prefixable AB games. I wouldn't be proud if in a country you have a vote, but in the end you notice it didn't matter cause it was all set up already. A vote should be a vote, and a sing-up shouldn't depend on stomping low levels 99% of the time. And in your pictures, pay and preview the wicked coincidence of people not playing and having a beer. NP, but something is wrong, you're right. Therefore, Blizzard, open your eyes and make that change.